Important news from Infected Blood Australia. The ABC boss of news and investigations, Gavin Morris, who Infected Blood Australia had written to in recent weeks and who we'd complained to about the ABC's failure to report and investigate on Australia's deadliest medical scandal, Hepatitis C, contaminated blood transfusions and blood products, which were distributed before the 2000s and infected tens of thousands of Australians. G'day, Charles MacKenzie from Infected Blood Australia. Thank you for anyone that can join me tonight. It's quite late on a Friday evening here in Sydney, Australia, and we've jumped on at this late notice to tell you the amazing news. Our campaign to have Australia's deadliest medical scandal, Infected Blood, investigated has seen results tonight, and it's no surprise that the boss of news at the ABC has fallen on his sword. He recently wrote to us when we were talking to him about why it is that the ABC will not investigate the Infected Blood scandal. And this is the letter. I realise it doesn't. You can't read it when it comes up on screen, so I'll just read the main points from his letter of just a couple of weeks ago. And ABC News boss Gavin Morris basically says, "I don't directly commission stories or dictate to reporting teams or journalists what they should cover. I do pass on interesting story ideas and feedback from members of the public or from organisations who raise interesting topics. I did this in your case. As you'd expect, just because someone demands the ABC cover an issue, it doesn't mean it always will. Journalists will look at an issue on merit, often do some initial research and make an independent judgment on the merits of pursuing a story. Having put you in touch with our medical reporter, this is Sophie Scott, and our specialist reporting team, again, that has the ABC journalist Sophie Scott, I trust their judgment on whether to cover an issue." Okay, well, Sophie Scott, this is the chief medical reporter of the ABC, has refused to investigate. That's her there. And we did a very emotional live last night as we exposed Sophie Scott's conflict of interest. Sophie Scott hosting a panel on World Hepatitis Day that was held by the Kirby Institute. This is this medical organisation in New South Wales that have had a lot to do with locking people in New South Wales down, okay, and demanding jabs, etc. Well, they're also part of the cover-up of Australia's deadliest medical scandal, contaminated blood transfusions. The reason that you've never heard of Australia's deadliest medical scandal is because of the Kirby Institute, who are sponsored by the architects of Australia's deadliest scandal, the people that, saw that criminal negligence killed thousands of Australians, the Australian Red Cross Blood Service, or Lifeblood as they're known, and blood products and jab maker CSL. They both sponsor the Kirby Institute, and here is the ABC medical reporter who refuses, there she is in the middle, Sophie Scott, who refuses to investigate the tens of thousands infected with contaminated blood transfusions. And there she is doing work with the Kirby Institute, who are refusing to tell our group just how many Australians have been infected with hepatitis C through blood transfusions, okay? The Kirby Institute work with the Australian Red Cross, and we are disgusted to find that the woman that refused to investigate Australia's deadliest medical scandal, Sophie Scott, was working with the Kirby Institute in 2017 on World Hepatitis Day. Can you believe the irony? The person promoting World Hepatitis Day, ABC medical reporter Sophie Scott, is also the person responsible for covering up, or one of the people responsible for covering up Australia's deadliest medical scandal, as is that man there, Stuart Loveday, okay, one of the people involved in the cover-up. This guy is one of these public health establishment, one of these government-funded hepatitis experts that's been a party to Australia's biggest cover-up. We expect now, following the departure of Gavin Morris, the news boss of the ABC, under pressure from our group, we expect the departure of the chair of the ABC, Ita Buttrose. Ita Buttrose, the chair of the ABC, her public broadcaster, the taxpayer-funded Australian public broadcaster, has failed to report and investigate its nation's deadliest medical scandal, contaminated blood transfusions and blood products. Every other country, public broadcasters in Canada, public broadcasters in Ireland investigated decades ago, years ago, and now the BBC in the UK back in 2017. And the next thing that happened was, boom, it sparked the UK's largest ever legal inquiry into what's known as being the biggest peacetime disaster in British history. This is the infected blood scandal. Well, haemophiliacs in the UK, these are people with this bleeding disorder, haemophilia, were knowingly given contaminated blood. HIV, hepatitis C, contaminated blood. Well, guess what we've got? The chair of the ABC, Ita Buttrose. In the mid-1980s, she was a blood products promoter for the Red Cross and CSL, and here she is saying that the haemophilia treatments are safe and that the blood supply is safe and reliable, and that these haemophilia treatments have been rendered safe, okay, purified, she said. They've been purified in 1985, and parents believed her, and children who did not even need these damn treatments to survive, their parents believing, having every faith in Ita Buttrose, having every faith in CSL, the Red Cross, allowed their children to be injected. Those children developed the deadly virus hepatitis C, okay? Hepatitis C being more deadly than HIV in Australia today and in places like the UK, okay? A very deadly virus. Thousands of Australians have been killed, and we expect the chair of the ABC, Ita Buttrose, to immediately resign. Now, just on a personal note, like many Australians, I'm a big fan of Ita Buttrose. I don't believe that Ita did this deliberately. There's no evidence that it's deliberate. But what she said was very, very wrong, and we think she was given very, very bad advice. And the people that gave her that advice, we believe, are criminals. And that's why we're demanding a Royal Commission of Inquiry into Australia's infected blood scandal, our nation's deadliest medical scandal. You can support that by going to our bio, okay, and filling out the form. So we expect the resignation also, the immediate resignation of this medical reporter or public health official. Which is she? Which is she? Well, let me tell you, they investigated this scandal in Canada, Ireland, all around the world, and we've been humiliated because victims around the world of this global contaminated blood scandal of before the 2000s saying, hey, Aussies, where's your media? Well, now we know. Sophie Scott and the ABC have kept it from us. Meanwhile, the Kirby Institute, who she's linked with, these medical organisations that tell us that we should all be locked down, receive hundreds of millions of dollars in funding. This group, the Kirby Institute, recently getting something like 16 million from Bill Gates, okay? And here we are, we've all been locked down, we've all been told that we're at risk from a pandemic, something that's hundreds of times less deadly than Hep C. My goodness. Sophie Scott, medical reporter of the ABC, your conflicts of interest mean you cannot continue at our nation's public broadcaster. And unfortunately, Ita Buttrose, for presiding over the ABC as chair, while victims died without help, your resignation will also be needed. My name's Charles MacKenzie. I'm the president of Infected Blood Australia. Wow, what incredible, incredible turn of events. Let's keep fighting, everybody, for victims of Australia's deadliest medical scandal for their loved ones. Come on, we're getting closer. We're going to force this inquiry. And come on, Australia, let's do this. Let's end the medical tyranny and let's expose the fraud. Why is Australia's chair of the ABC not allowing an investigation into our deadliest medical scandal? And what does that have to do with her being a blood products promoter in the 1980s? Okay, there she is. There's the ad. We posted it before. There's the evidence. It's the evidence that ends the chair of the ABC, Ita Buttrose. Thank you very much for watching tonight this breaking news from Infected Blood Australia. Goodbye.